I don't like to plan much. I really just like to hit record and go and see what happens and then like figure it out later. To continue the wheels of inspiration turning and to like create from scratch, you know what I mean? You gotta like give yourself time. Just play for the sake of it.
I was hoping today to talk a little bit about creativity. There's a thing that worries me sometimes whenever you talk about creativity, because it can have this kind of feel that it's just nice, you know, or it's warm, or it's something pleasant. It's not. It's vital, 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 vital.
My process, it starts from just a whole bunch of premeditated thoughts. The process of me thinking about the ideas and what I want to say next. Yeah. You know, and by the time I get into the studio, I have to find that exact sound that triggered the emotion or the idea that I thought about 2 months ago. I have to make notes because a lot of my inspiration comes from meeting people or going outside of the country or going around the corner to my old neighborhood, talking to a 5-year-old little boy. And I have to remember these things. You know, I have to write them down, and then 5 or 3 months later, I have to find that same emotion that I felt. It comes back. It comes back. It comes because I have key little words that make me realize the exact motion of what drew the inspiration.
Peace and light. My name is Erykah Badu.
You know, it's real to us. I mean, this is who we are. It's our life. It's not manufactured. It's not something to sell. You know, we're just fortunate enough to have the opportunity to make a living at it.
I don't know how to read music. Never understood theory. Not a great dancer, but it just feels really good to me. It feels good. I like how it feels, and it became my therapy.
I knew I had something when I saw people connecting to it. It's more like primal wells and tribal moans than notes. I didn't think that I had such a unique thing, you know. It came to me later when others would share that they felt the way I felt, you know. And after that, I never underestimated the audience's ability to connect with what I'm doing.
What about Tyler, the Creator? Because he's been embracing you since day one.
Yeah, we're both Pisces, so we swim in the same world.
A lot of them are just asking questions. A lot of the songs just have questions, and it's just like, how am I feeling today? Mm-hmm. What if I go poor again? What if it doesn't work? And then that's how a lot of the songs just happen, just me kind of just asking answering these questions.
Igor was definitely like all feeling. Woke up in the morning, this is how I felt, made that song, did that for like 2 weeks. And then I was like, oh shit, I have something. It was like 6 songs, 6, 7 songs. I was like, oh my gosh, this is, and that's kind of why it goes into this weird chronological order, because that was how I felt that morning. It was like over a span of like 2 weeks almost. And then every time I make an album, I put it in a playlist on my phone just to see how it flows and stuff. And I was like, oh shit, like I didn't even notice I was drawing a circle. It was just all feeling.
Because of the way that like iTunes and Spotify, things are mixed loud and super crisp, and our ears up, they expect every single thing to sound like that and not taking in consideration what texture is. So when I made the Wilshire song, I was so sad that I didn't want to record it in the booth. So I told my engineer, we're just in there, just me and him, and I'm like, yo, just plug the handheld mic up. And I just sat there, started it, did the first verse, was like, hold on, run it back. And then I did that whole song, the 8-minute song in one take, just sitting in a chair like this. Wow. And a mic like this. And I said, keep it. Because at that moment I said, I won't ever feel like this again for this situation. And I put all that emotion there. I don't want to re-record it. I don't want to clean it up. I want what I was feeling at that moment so in there. So when you hear that, that's truly me in a corner like this. So texture and all of that, that's what that is. And that song to me is perfect because I knew what I wanted.
I just think like so many people just think that you need to rent a studio and you need to have all these producers there and all these co-writers and all these like people and it's like, bro, like if you want to make art, like and make art, like what are you doing, you know?
I think we've been taught that we need all of this stuff to make great music or great music videos or just great art in general.
Yeah.
And you know, your generation and you're a leader of that pack is really on some just do it yourself and the rest of the world will follow.
So many people right now are, you know, like getting famous because of someone else. Like, yeah. It's like all these artificial things that involve like so many people that are not the person that's getting to where everyone else wants them to be. And it's like, if you're just getting somewhere because everyone else wants you to be there, or you're getting there because you're being everyone else, you just get to a place where it's like, what is the point of that?
It's nice to not have to talk to describe how you're feeling. You know what I mean? It's nice to learn about yourself by like sitting down, picking up a guitar and just playing. It's a whole entire journey of self-exploration. Cause it'd be so easy to just throw a beat on and rap and call it an album and continue. I have to expose some part of myself that I'm uncomfortable with every album.
Vulnerability is like, it's the greatest thing and the reward is very high, but the price can also, you know, it's like.
The danger is there, like that fear of like.
Yeah, but that's why it's so awesome, you know? Everyone's like, clearly identifies with it. And it's just refreshing because it's like, I'm not the only like f***ed up person, you know? I do better when I can sit down, like process what I'm thinking and write it out and then sing it. And so then I get on stage and it's like, you know, I write what's in my head, I write it down and I sing it and then I'm like, oh shoot, that's me. The way we do every project is I'll start out and I think I know what I'm writing. And then we get about 75%. And then me and Jordan will get together and we'll play just whatever piece of music at that point represents how I'm feeling the best. And we just have the whiteboard up and we're just like writing quotes and like discussing things. And it always changes on me, where I think I'm writing something and then we sit down and we look at it and we're like, oh no, this is what I'm actually trying to say.
The reason we have a band in the first place is because I was too nervous in the beginning to sing over like a 2-track. I learned that I have more potential than I thought I did, that I can step out of my comfort zone if I really want to, if I really try.
My first piece of advice would be to really figure out what you actually want. You know, you have to try things to see if you like it. I taught myself how to DJ 2 months before my first tour. Taught myself, like on YouTube. I think, you know, it comes down to like, you know, I try to tell a lot of my friends, my artist friends who, you know, want more success. I always like to ask them like, well, would you do this regardless?
I feel like any time that I've been less attached to the truth, no matter what adjective comes before the truth, whether it's the sad truth, the unfortunate truth, the fortunate truth, whenever I've not been attached to the truth, then I'm really, really sad, dejected, and lost.
I be mad at people because we all got the same resource, which is the world. There's clearly ingredients. You feel me? Like, from how you live your life to like the music that you listening to. I was always like too nosy my whole life. I was just always in people business like that, just like absorbing like how you like, you know, like shit you do with your hands. Like I'm like really like on people.
And I think on the topic of vulnerability and feet of clay and everything, I think that's the one that hit way more home with both of us, because the whole world ended up being more of like a backdrop for whatever each of us are going through individually. I try and control my environment because I know the fleeting nature of like inspiration and like catching the spirit.
If you miss the moment, then that's just a beat. Like, that's why I'm only fucking with it with super fresh, like everything all at once. This all just happened. There's all these different variables that go into creating a moment as opposed to like creating a song. Who do I need to be around? Like what space am I in? Like what am I reading? Like what am I doing every day? Like just my eyes open, you know?
If you want to help your community, if you want to help your family, if you want to help your friends, you have to express yourself. And to express yourself, you have to know yourself.
It's no good if you're not aware, even if you're positive. You can be emulating something positive. That's no good, you know. It's good when you're aware. I'm aware that I'm bad. I'm aware that I'm happy. I'm aware that I'm sad. I'm aware that I'm, you know, old. I'm aware that I'm new. You know, when you're aware, that's good. You know, that could take you everywhere.
I was just coming out of what some people call, I hate when people do this, but I'm gonna do it, writer's block. And I found out that there was really no such thing as that. It was actually a downloading period for us as artists. And to embrace that thing was maybe the best thing I could have ever done. I went on a tour called the Frustrated Artist Tour. And on that tour, I kind of worked it out, and I had a studio on the bus and was figuring out where I was going next, what I was going to talk about, what I was going to do. I'm always in competition with my last level. And during that period, I wrote so many songs, and I recorded them into my laptop through GarageBand because I was moving so fast. I wanted it to happen quickly and rapidly.
You know, there's plenty of kids too that do everything on there. I mean, with technology too, it's like you can get a laptop and you can make whatever the hell you want. You don't need anybody. You're all good to go.
I don't know how to do it any other way. I've been in the studio a couple times and I always feel really uncomfortable. So I don't know. I do it the way I know. I don't know. I think there's something to be said about like, you know, an artist making something in their own like personal space is a little bit different than a controlled environment too. So.
There's no reason that I had to do it this way. I just wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like stupid to have these. I mean, it's not, I think it's tight. But you know, you do not need like an analog mixing console to make a record now. It's like there's, you know, you don't. And the thing is with that whole spectrum of thought too is like, I don't care if people make stuff on the computer. That's great.
Right.
Do your thing. If you make something, I don't care. I don't know, record it on your phone. If you like it, then that's great. It doesn't matter how you made it. It matters what you came out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and the same with anything. Same with making music videos or movies or, you know, it doesn't matter.
So with this, I've discovered these apps, and I'm just like, whoa, exploring this world of sound with this little device in my pocket. And I realized that I didn't like necessarily need what I thought I did. So from there, I just started, you know, pressing stuff and figuring it out and just getting some really, really bad beats out at first before I found the piece called the iRig. And that's when I started to combine my knowledge on what a drum beat was along with my guitar playing skills and bass. When I started to combine the two, it's like, wow, I can like create this with this. So from there, I went on to just making beats after class, and that's all I did.
For those of you who are trying to be artists or who have it in them, there's just so many different, the ways that you would market a brand as far as a company and a corporation is the same way you have to market yourself these days. Because a brand is no longer like just a company, it could be an individual.
ASAP is certainly not something that just, happened by chance. It was very deliberate, it was very focused, and it was a lot of energy and hard work from a group of young people in New York that, a lot of people may have underestimated or didn't really expect that much of, you know?
I joined in 2007. It was a crew from Harlem. If you guys don't know about it, that's my crew. And it was a bunch of just teenage kids that just wanted to do teenage things. You know, I don't think I have to specify at this point, right? Basically, you know, that leads to nothing because you just, you know, wake up and before you know, you just spend all summer having fun. You don't have anything accomplished. I looked around and I just said, man, we got to do something about this. We need to utilize each other because together we're all a collective. And that was the obvious. It led to me trying to use the internet as an outlet to market myself, to get my brand out there.
I know a lot of people who make things who don't stand proudly by their stuff. I don't know if they too cool or they don't want to look thirsty or they're not proud of their, but like, they'll put a song out, they'll put it in their story, and that's it. That's it. You went through something, you wrote words down, you figured it out in the structural format, found music to go along with it, you recorded it. Recorded, you know, most of the time you don't just do it in one take, you go back and forth, fix some parts, get some parts replayed. That's the one, you play it for people, yeah, do this. You edit it, you mix it, and you mean to tell me that you're gonna be passive with your own and just put it on your story once? Are you fucking crazy, bro? I'm still promoting my album that came out in June. It's a year out, and I'm still out here like, call me if you get lost, like, right? And what I notice is that some of these, the younger guys and girls, they like, oh yeah, I got a song out, and they forget about it. And I'm like, no, let motherfuckers know. Tell people, because I put time and love and too much energy into this finished project just to put it on Instagram and forget about it. Like, no, promote your, let people know, be proud of that you made. So when you said that you proudly stand by it, I was like, oh, it's a whole bunch of who don't have that. So I think that that's beautiful.
I thought I was going to be a singer until I was like 17, and then I was getting ready to go to college, and then took a year off, and then I thought, no, like this is going to be way too hard. I actually had a really amazing student advisor at Fordham, and he let me take half of my classes my senior year like at home. So I met this producer, David Kahn, and he helped me make a record, even though I didn't really have anything going on. And so I think once I like made the decision and shut the door on like the other stuff, like I'm a big believer in like you have to close the door, lock it, throw away the key, and that's when like the good stuff moves in. I feel like it's hard. Like sometimes I'm reaching for one thing, but I'm still all the way in this other place, and it doesn't really work like that.
You have to keep going. There isn't somebody who's going to certify my life. There isn't somebody who's going to, like, if you're doing music or you're doing art or you're doing, like, if you're doing something, you're doing it from some sort of inner talent. I'm not going to lie, I used to be in bed, just be thinking about what I want to do and thinking about mostly why it's not working. Now, if I had a friend that was in bed, sitting down, thinking about shit that I knew was talented and that he could do what he's doing, when I'm calling him and saying, where are you, fam? He's saying, yeah, I'm in bed, man. I say, bro, get the out of bed, bro. Like, when you see yourself getting in a bad place, like, just be like, yo, bro, like, that thing's happening again, what you do to yourself.
Once I started looking at things as they are, I got very depressed. I think it happens. I think it's very normal for everyone. But I think if the world is a dumpster fire, like, you're gonna feel really bad if you're not taking you a bucket of water and throwing it on something whenever you can. That's just for anyone who's figuring out their apathy, their lethargy, their frustration, depression, whatever.
There is no path. There's no path till you walk it. So don't, read the book that you should read. Read the book you want to read. Right? Don't listen to the music that you used to like. Take some time to listen to some new music.
I think everyone listens to different things first. I noticed earlier downstairs when we were playing the disco stuff, a song came in and you was like, ooh, and it was just drums. It wasn't no chords, not a bass line, nothing. And I was like, oh, he listens to groove first. He listens to drums and groove first. And something I picked up on and thought that was interesting. And it's songs I have that are horrible lyrically, like really bad, but I just like the notes in the background. So I listen to them and I love it.
I like to start with the beat. I'm a producer still, so I make the beat first, get the beat first, start singing some stuff. I try to just let words kind of come out. I don't even start singing anything until the mic is on and recording, because my first ideas are usually my best ones. I'll freestyle like a whole 3 minutes or a minute and a half of something, and I'll be like, okay, that's the verse melody right there, and that's the chorus melody, so what words would fit?
I'm just very stringent these days about each section of my song feeling as sticky as a hook.
That's how I try to write, I think. I try to make every piece and every melody like hit worthy. It's like a good book. Like that first sentence has to catch it. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna finish reading this book.
A wise man once told me that creativity, anything perfect, any creation is 90% editing. 10% substance, 90% editing. So anything with art, like, is 90% editing. And for my 90%, it took about like 2 years.
It just was like me learning opposed to just perfected work. I think people only want perfection.
Perfection.
You know what I'm saying? They never want process.
Yeah.
People don't care about layers. People don't care about colors. They don't care about feeling. If I can't be in my bedroom by myself making the best sounds, then
it's already. Yeah.
I'm not ready.
I'm an artist. I gotta go with what I'm feeling inside. Like, I'm not painting what I see Young Thug painting or what I'm seeing Rocky painting or whoever. Like, I'm painting what comes from the inside.
For real. I could correlate that to like an album like Allah or an album like Blonde from Frank Ocean.
Right.
Sometimes you actually have to put out pieces of art to people to let them realize that you don't want to be classified as just a contemporary artist that's here to come and go. I don't do anything if it doesn't feel right. Everything is, I strategically do. And I make decisions based upon my feeling, if it feels right.
The whole go up on stage, accept your award thing, that was like one of the first times it ever happened to me. It's an amazing honor, but it's like an object,
First of all, to these guys right here, I would not be here if it weren't for Matthew and Jordan. I love you guys, man.
So it's like, what are you actually chasing? Like, what do you actually want, Because it's not an object you want. And I feel like I'm like kind of like meta, like I'm like looking down on myself, watching everything that I do and like analyzing it and criticizing it and like telling myself to keep going.